it, bruh. Yeah, so pretty much how I ended up with this car, or how I got this car, was I think it was around 4 or 5 years ago when I was in market for a car. Previously, before this car, I had an Infiniti i30, which is, it's still within the Infiniti family, but it was a bit of a lower car. So, like a lower end car. So I'm like, alright, that's cool, whatever. I was originally looking for an FRS, actually. Just looked really sporty, really cool, you know, small, compact, and, you know, really fun to drive. So I'm like, pretty set on the FRS. I went for a test drive, and, you know, I loved it, and whichever. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much set. Let's go through a few shops, trying to get a good pricing. My parents kind of influenced me, saying, hey, you know what? Getting like an FRS or like, you know, BRZ or whatever, it's actually not really practical because I can't really fit anyone in the back. Like, for me, like for like the grown ass dude, you're really not gonna fit 2 more people in the back. Like, no way. Like, keep in mind, the back of this is already kind of like squishy, or like it's already getting there already, right? But FRS, no freaking way. So I'm like, I guess if you're doing long term, or, you know, if you're going through a road trip or whatever, FRS could be, you know, not the most comfortable if you're putting people in the back. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go through the second option. So like the second week or third week, I'm kind of just doing a lot of research, right? And I'm just like, well, you know, I'm like, okay, so if FRS doesn't work, what is a good car, or a car that has like, you know, a good, that's really spacious in the back, that I can like load up stuff, groceries, and it's comfortable for people to sit in. Looking at the Genesis, so the Hyundai Genesis R-Spec Edition, rear-wheel drive, manual, of course. And I'm like, hey, you know what? You can fit 2 people in the back. It's a coupe. Trunk space, ideal. I can fit quite a bit of stuff in there, no problem. And I'm just like, okay, well, I think that's the game winner, right? So I'm like, so of course I went to go check up on or whatever, or like the auto mall. And I'm like, oh dude, I actually really like the interior. The interior is like, you know, leather, it's pretty spacious, it's, you know, it's really sporty. Like the rear looked really, really nice. I'm like, alright, cool, like this is it. So we're talking about the price. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure like the R-Spec, done. And the price, I kind of worked out in a deal, and it was good. So I'm just like, oh, okay, well, pretty good deal, let's do it. So already putting the deposit down, my mom was just like, hey, you sure you want to just do it right now? You don't want to like look around? Like, you don't want to check out other places to see if they can do a better pricing or not? I'm just like, well, this is the only one here. And this was it was a black one. It was a black R-Spec. I'm like, well, this is the only one left, so I kind of do want it. But my mom kept urging me, hey, you know what? Just look around. Look around a little bit. I'm like, alright, I guess. So I went on and I looked around. I went and I looked around. So, funny thing is, the next lot between the dealer, like that I went to, it was an Aldi dealership, right? And just on the lot, I see this Infiniti. Infiniti never even crossed my mind at any second point or any single point of my like research history that I would like Infiniti. I'm like, okay, well, let's check out this Infiniti, right? So I never really even did much research about Infinitis at all. I'm like, alright, this car kind of looks kind of cool, you know, snazzy, nice interior, and all that. And I'm like, so I opened it up and looked, and it seemed like it was okay. Like, it's... So yeah, so I like I saw like yeah, so I saw the G37 there, and someone was already kind of looking at it already. There's like a family looking at it, opening the car up. I'm like, oh, okay, this looks all right. So I'm going up there and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay, well this is low kilometers, you know, like only 20,000 kilometers, and the price was, you know, fairly decent. I'm like, no accident. I'm like, oh, okay, well this is not too bad for price wise. And I was looking at the trunk. Hey, a lot of trunk room. I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'm looking at the inside. I'm like, oh, it doesn't feel too bad. The inside was like all leather on leather, base model, so there was no GPS in there or backup camera, but it was a G37S 09 coupe. I'm like, okay, well the main thing I was looking for like is enough trunk space and enough back room, and the G37 had both of them, right? So the price of this was much lower than the R-Spec that I was looking at, and I'm like, oh shit, this is actually not a bad deal. So being know how it is, I kind of talked to the dealer, kind of agreed on, you know, back and forth, and we agreed on like on a price, and it was a price that like I was like, oh wow, he actually accepted it. So I'm like, okay, well I'm just gonna put the down payment now and pick it up the next day. And that's exactly what happened, and I didn't even think twice about it. Literally just put the down payment down and that was it. I'm like, oh wow. So it didn't even hit me yet that I was gonna get this car. It did not hit me yet that I was gonna get this car. I'm like, okay, well I guess I'm really getting an Infiniti then. I'm like, alright, cool. Once I signed the dotted line, I'm like, shit, I actually really got an Infiniti. And that's pretty much how I accidentally bought this car. And I was actually gonna get an R-Spec, but keep in mind, like, R-Spec is rear-wheel drive, this is rear-wheel drive, pretty much both are the same, it's the same car, right? Just different branding. This had a luxury, more of a luxury feel to it, so I didn't really mind. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is not too bad. Like, it's good. And that's exactly how I ended up with this car right here. Yeah, so that literally was pretty much how I accidentally bought this car. It's more of a kind of like it's more kind of like, I would say, like a blessing in disguise, pretty much. So I'm like, alright, cool. That's pretty dope. And yeah, been driving it for like 4 years now, and haven't looked back since. Yeah, so right now I am heading over to this kind of secluded area, secluded place that not a lot of people go to, so I can do a little bit of a shoot of the car. I have an exhaust on this car. It's called Exotic Speed, and Exotic Speed is a local company that's made in Vancouver, and yeah, so Exotic Speed, full catback, just for the G37S coupe. No test pipes, and this exhaust is quite loud already. Like it gives some crazy pops, which is kind of cool. It's loud enough, not like, you know, annoying loud, but it brings a smile to my face every time I hear it though. So like if I give it a little punch on the gas, damn, like it growls. And then when I downshift, not a bad tone. It's not as raspy, but it's not raspy at all, which I love. So it's so if I give it a little punch here. Always brings a smile to my face. Pretty much wasted a quarter of my gas tank, so yeah, it sounds pretty good actually without like a test pipe. It sounds pretty decent. Imagine with the test pipe, it would be even freaking louder. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what kind of car what was your first car that you guys drove. And yeah, I'm curious, because everything that you expect usually turns out to be the opposite of what it really is. So yeah, I guess that's it. Hopefully you guys like crackle and pop rev on my G37. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. And yeah, alright, I guess that's it. So DZ Superfan, DZ signing out. Bye.